Mike, welcome. Your turn. How are you today, pal?
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
All right,
Hey,
Mike. Nice to talk. What's on your mind now? Fire away.
talk to you. Let me rifle through these things real quick, and then I got Steve right at the end, so hold it.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so first of all, you know what? You coming to Sirius is like Howard Stern going to Sirius, because none of us on the West Coast got to listen to Howard before he came, kind of west, when he expanded and went to Sirius. And that's kind of like what you did. You coming west gave all the West Coast listeners an opportunity to listen to you, which has just been incredible. So I want to thank you for that, for signing that deal. You opened up a whole new country for us. Second thing is, about the start time of the NBA? You know what you got to do, Chris? You just got to move out here in the West.
No, I agree with that. I mean, that is the ideal time. Yeah. I mean, is to move to I wouldn't have this issue, but I can't do that right now. One day, but I can't do that right now. Again, the Houston-Minnesota game, and I was watching, the Houston-Minnesota game was over at about 10:20 at night, okay? The 10:30 was the start of the Oklahoma-Utah game. Why couldn't they start that Oklahoma-Utah game at 10:31? A second from Ernie Johnson. I don't need to hear Barkley there. A second from Ernie Johnson. And then I go to Oklahoma, Utah right away. They start that Oklahoma, Utah game at quarter to 11. I mean, I know it's a small thing. It bothers the hell out of me. It bothers the freaking hell out of me. Go ahead. Next.
I know how you guys on the East Coast watch that. Literally a game starting at 11. Out here in the West, we're like, okay, 7:38.
Nobody's going to watch that. No, I got to go to bed. I got to get up at 6 o'clock for crying out loud. Next. Go ahead.
Of course you do. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Anyhow. Angels-Astros, big game for the Angels last night. Nice win. Skaggs was brilliant. The Astros are hitting like 200 at home, but it was a huge win.
Yes, it was.
It was fantastic. The game ended on so-and-so going to third base, throwing out.
One of the dumbest plays in the world. At least in that situation, the back runner can get the second, and they're down 2-0. So it's not the worst thing like it was with Arenado the day before when he did it against the Rockies, or for the Rockies against the Cubs when he was down by 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth and the base was loaded and he tried to score on a pass ball and was out. This one, at least the back runner can move to second. I can understand it a little bit better, but I don't like that kind of play either. So it goes there too. Here is Corey in Albany, New York. Corey, good afternoon. Your turn. How are you today?
I'm doing all right, Chris. Good afternoon to you too.
All right, Corey. What's up?
I'm just dumbfounded how people think Barkley shouldn't be the first pick. We know in the NFL, one thing we do know, when you have a young quarterback, you need to protect that young quarterback so they can grow. So if the Cleveland Browns take Barkley first, then they get their young quarterback with the fourth pick. They grow together. They have a good running game that can protect them, decent defense, and also people forget they have they had an all-star wide receiver before he got, the trouble he got into.
No, they're gonna. So what they could do, they could add a quarterback, have Barkley, Landry, Josh Gordon. That's not a bad. And if they need Carlos Hyde, they got him too. That is not a bad offensive team.
That's a great offensive team. So why would you take the quarterback first? And if he's a bust and Barkley is going to be an all-star, the fans are going to yell, why didn't you take Barkley the first time? We all know about the triplets with Aikman, Irvin, and Emmitt Smith. You can create your own right now with getting Barkley first. It makes no sense why they would take one of these quarterbacks who we all know they might be good at best. There's no sure Hall of Famer in these quarterback slots. Barkley is a sure Hall of Famer. You take the number one pick who's a sure Hall of Famer, and you'd be done with it. Well, I don't understand anything else.
Well, again, you never say he's a sure Hall of Famer, and he gets hurt, things happen. But if Gil Brandt tells you that he is by far the best player in this draft, and we all know the running backs the last couple of years have been very successful. Fournette, we know Ezekiel Elliott, and they took him fourth pick, both teams. You have to take him with that first pick. Now, they're not going to do it, but they're making a big mistake. Not in front of the hour. We're continuing here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Don't go away.